Welcome to Tuesday's call, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. We are 13 days away from the end of the month. And reminder, Easter weekend is the very last weekend of March. So my encouragement to everybody is to front load, or well, we're already halfway in, well past halfway into the month. So to work now for what our goals are. Kind of have that end of month urgency, except it's not the end of the month yet, right? So anyways, I just wanted to welcome everybody. I know people are still hopping on. Go ahead and pop a win in the chat. Like, let's kick it off with some gratitude today. And if someone wants to unmute and just share a win, any win, big or small, why don't you, let's just hear from somebody real quick and unmute. Or if you want to shout somebody out on
I'll
your,
share.
okay, let's hear it.
I so my neighbor invited me to a dinner with some other ladies, and I wasn't necessarily going to go, but my husband was like, "You should totally go." It was called a bad bitches dinner, so I kind of felt like, is this like a compliment or should I be worried? But anyway, it was really cool because she actually had a lot of just health-minded people there, and I was able to make multiple connections that night. And I have a meeting with a gal tomorrow. And then there's this other girl local to me. She's on Ryan Ritz's team, but we've done like events together before. So we're doing a gut health and wellness event together on Saturday per request from multiple people at the dinner. So that was like really fun and exciting. And I'm like, yay, I did something scary and I have butterflies on my stomach. So it must be good.
That's awesome. Yeah, any opportunity that you guys have to connect with more people. Reminder, we're in the networking business. So I love that Stephanie shared that because that is a perfect opportunity. Actually, Stephanie, I'm glad your hubby encouraged you to go because it gets us out of like our normal circle. And when we're outside of our normal circle, we might be a little bit more outside of our comfort zone, right? Than if we're just always with
Mm-hmm.
friends that already know what we do, right? And so always be mindful of that. Anytime we travel, we really work hard to connect with lots of people. Were you all watching Sonia Dudley this week? I think she had yesterday. Yesterday was Monday. Oh, it's only Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I don't know. I grew up in Plexus listening to Sonia Dudley. Like I remember listening to her videos going, okay, I'm gonna have to learn to be more like Sonia. Like just a natural connector. And she's not weird and she's so natural. And like that's a natural outflow of her. And it benefits all of us to learn those skills, right? And so even if we're not naturally like that, I mean, I'm an introvert, mostly an introvert, somewhat of an introvert. Raise your hand if you're an introvert. Kind of a conserver of energy, or at least maybe not an expender of energy on people that I don't know and maybe have no reason to get to know. But it's so interesting when you observe natural connectors. My uncle is actually a top salesman in his company. He's actually been a top salesman of a lot of different companies, but living life with him is hilarious. Like he will not let you say no to like whatever it is, right? It could even be like, oh, try this piece of candy. And he'll sell you on it. He will totally sell you on it. But the funny thing, like watching him operate like in a checkout line is hilarious because he's read all the books. Like he knows how to win friends and influence people. And I actually lived with them in college, and hands down, my aunt and uncle are hilarious. Like both of them are very, very funny. I've never like I literally every day I lived with them, I belly laughed. They were so funny. But they were always looking to like connect with people. And so my cousins at the time when I was in college, they were like 11. And I remember my uncle giving all of us a challenge. He's like, okay, this week is going to be all about doing little acts of kindness. And so one of their acts of kindness was to make the crabby shoe guy smile something because it was like their shoe store, the guy at the shoe store was always crabby. So that was like their mission, like to make him smile, to get him to smile about something. And I'm pretty sure that they reported back that they got a smile out of him. But even watching him operate in a checkout line, like he's hilarious. Like he really engages everyone everywhere he goes with like he's not trying to sell them on whatever he sells, right? He's just practicing all the time, and he's super fun to be with. And so Sonia's encouragement and just how she, like her explaining how she talks to people, I found very, very helpful when I started. So, anyways, long story short, so okay, there are 21 of us on, which means there should be 21 wins in the comments. So if you're just hopping on, we want everyone to be popping, even if it's just one teeny, teeny, tiny win in the comments. We want to be shouting people out. You can shout yourself out. You can shout a teammate out. And if you're new on this call, this is your first Tuesday call ever, can you pop it in the chat too? Because we want to make you feel really welcome. So, all right, here are my notes for tonight. I'll just be completely honest with you guys. Carissa and I had the idea of doing just kind of like a little debrief session. I know all of us are doing the Star Diamond training this month, right? Pop something in the chat if you're doing that, which should be all of us, right? If you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's okay. We will get you plugged in. But basically, the Star Diamonds are like the tippy top diamonds in Plexus that have been doing training every single day. They've been showing up and doing a pre-recorded video with some homework, and it's like a 7 or 8 minute video. It's not long, and then like one piece of homework. It's again, it's not like you have this big list of things to complete. Small, bite-sized little things. And then later in the day, they're hopping on live and expounding or just popping on so that there's more live interaction, maybe answering some questions or whatever. And so we thought we would open it up for you guys to share what you are learning from the Star Diamond training. And then also, if you've had some resistance that has popped up, or some little tiny thoughts maybe in the back of your head that have popped up either as you're doing the homework or as you are working or listening through the training. So who wants to go first? Who has been learning? Do you guys have a favorite person that has trained so far or something that has really stuck out to you? Curious. This is going to be interactive. Megan is not going to be talking the whole time. Oh, I
I
love
can
it.
go.
Okay. Hey, Tara or Julia. Almost called you the wrong.
Hey, that's okay. I'll answer pretty much anything. So, I actually really enjoyed Brooke Hemingway's. It was almost like a light bulb moment when she was talking about starting little messenger events for each of her customers to try to help get activity with their people and get them to inviting. So what I actually have started to do that this last 2 weeks. I think she shared last, gosh, was it Monday or Tuesday? I don't remember. But so basically, what we've been doing is doing what we're calling a reset and walk challenge. And so we're having any of our customers invite people to a reset and walk challenge. And then we're starting a messenger thread for them and any of their people who want to be in that reset and walk challenge. And we put them all in there together. And then, of course, we're in there and we're inputting information about products, answering questions about products, encouraging each other on the reset, and then also checking in when we hit our goals for the day. And it's been really, really good so far, with just having interaction and getting people involved in the community. So that's been a lot of fun. And I really, really have liked that.
Love it. Do they have to order product first? Maybe that's a dumb question.
So typically, yes, but I talked to Cassie about this because I have a couple people, not very many. I don't advertise it as not being willing to order product, but I've had a couple people that have said that they want to purchase at the end of the month because they get paid at the end of the month. And so I invited them to go ahead and get onto the walk challenge with us and to do the walk challenge. And then they're going to host their own at the end of the month. And I've heard from both of the people that are in there that don't have products, and they both are saying, I can't wait to get my own products to be able to do this. And that was kind of my hope, is to just kind of ignite excitement in them to make sure they feel like, not necessarily that I want them to feel like they're missing out, but help them to see that a lot of people are having great results with it. And so, yeah, no, I've opened it up to people if they're not at the point where they're ready to order or able to order yet. I've let them come into it.
Oh, that's a good idea. I must have missed that in Brooke's training because I thought I listened to both of her videos, but must have missed that part. I'll have to go back and re-listen. That's a
It's
really
on her primary, it's on her very first one. It's not on her live. It was on her YouTube recorded one.
okay.
So, but yeah.
Okay, good idea. And someone else said that they loved her mapping her mapping call. I actually pulled up some of my notes that I had taken from that call. And I thought it was really, really good because she said, really, ranking up starts with a decision. And I think that, well, there's a scripture that says, how long will you halt between two decisions, right? Two opinions, I think it is. And I think it's like that the decision is the catalyst, you know? And then I thought that she also really said something profound when she mentioned getting it on paper. I'm a big pen and paper girl, and I've tried to teach that and encourage people to like get their goals written down. Because if they're not written down, like then they're all just airy fairy in our head, and our brain can't handle all of that information. And so I thought it was interesting. She said like you take it out of this kind of the spiritual realm and you get it into the physical. And I mean, that's kind of how she explained it, but I thought it was really just drove home that point. Like when you put it on paper, get it out of your head, you bring it to life and it feels more real. And then you also have a map on like there's never a moment in the month where you're like, what do I do now? Because you have your map. Okay. So if you have not mapped out your next rank up and you need help with that, get with your sponsor after this call and just tell them like, hey, I need help with that. Can you help me with that? Because you want to know where you're going so that you can get there. And I appreciated some of her verbiage also. Everyone comes in with a buddy. Okay, so if you are new and starting to build your team, do this better than me and get the duplication going faster than waiting on people to catch the vision. Who said it? Was it who spoke today? Fallon? Was it her? I think maybe she was the one that said red personalities. So if you all know what the four color personalities are, she's like, red personalities will assume everyone will just do what they're doing and know what to do. And that was me when I started. I was like, well, people just kind of see what I'm doing and they'll go do it. Like if they want it, they'll go get it. Like this is an entrepreneurial opportunity. Like go figure it out, y'all. I can't be your babysitter and your therapist and all that, which I've grown since then, but I do appreciate the perspective and just the building the culture of everyone comes in with a buddy. And that's such an easy way to talk about it because let's be honest, most of us, when we started this, did not recruit people for the business. The 4x4 to gold works brilliantly if you are recruiting people into your business for the business. That the 4x4 to getting to gold is you sign 4 people and you help those 4 people find 4 people, and that's how you get to gold. And I love that. I think that's a great strategy. But a lot of times what people do, because there's more than one way to get to gold, right? A lot of times what people do is they'll sign up as many people as they can, like VIP customers, and do it all on their own. But we want to get the duplication going. And so that duplication when you're signing VIP customers, primarily for products, a really, really great way to get some duplication going is to start the conversation about how you encourage everyone on your team to come in with a buddy. So you encourage the buddy system. So if you're not currently doing that, make yourself share it with everybody. And you can use that really casual wording of the buddy system. And then I also liked how Brooke said, what's your interest level in the $400 in the Apple Watch? I thought that was a really good sentence. And then let's see. Oh, I liked how she talked about talking with people's people. And she's like, we need to tell Wendy about this. How would this help her? And so Brooke is just brilliant about getting to the emotional level with people. Like she's not necessarily putting it all out there to everybody like, come do this business with me, business, all business. She's very cognizant. And she even said in her, I think it was her live video, that a lot of the people, or maybe it was the Q&A from Saturday, she said, a lot of the people that she signed up started for products first, and she doesn't necessarily approach everyone. But she said there's not a one size fits all approach for her when she's sharing Plexus with people. It's really dependent on them and what they want. And I also liked how she said, I thought I would tell you about this opportunity with the Apple Watch if you want to work with me for a few hours this month. So I like how she kind of quantified and qualified the simplicity of that. I'm still letting people into the call.
Hey, Megan, can you share how you have grown through the feeling of, I'm not here to be everyone's babysitter. I'm not here to hold their hand. I'm not here to be their therapist. Can you share a little bit more about that?
Sure. I think this is where us growing as developers come in. And I think it really stemmed from a perspective that like almost like my identity. Like I'm a mom of seven, I'm a homeschool mom, like that's me. And then yes, Plexus is something that I do and it's really fun and I love it, but I don't think I really took on that mantle of I'm a mentor in this business. And because I had told myself for so long, like I'm not a coach, like I'm not trained, like I don't know how to coach people. I know how to work my own business and leave me in my corner, leave me alone, I'll go do it. But if you ask me to teach somebody what to do, what to say, like I don't know, use your own intuition. Like I was probably really unhelpful to all the people that joined me in the first 5 years of Plexus because it was like, y'all go figure it out. And the self starters did. Thank goodness. Right. And, I say that, but also it wasn't like we just threw people to the wind. Like we did a lot of in person things for people. Like we showed up in person and helped. But I say that to also hopefully resonate with some of you so you can learn it sooner. Like be okay with doing like new mama Plexus things. Like you carry the diaper bag, you carry the passy, and like all the things. When you're starting somebody new on the products, but especially with the business, don't assume that they know what to do because actually a lot of people want it, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say, and they actually have a lot of insecurities. And so you're in that spot because if you've helped them get started, you know how to help them help one person get started. You don't have to know the whole staircase. You just have to be able to say, hey, well, I'll share with you what I'm doing. Okay, so I made a post. So let's make a post. And you can use the same wording as me. So it's as simple as that, where you are helping them take those first steps. And almost like you're the teacher and they're the student. And like, okay, I helped them do this. Once they do it, then you like cheer and like, oh my word, we did it. Okay, let's see who likes your comments. And then you're going to help them know what to do or say after that. Because some people, when they do this, they don't necessarily have the intuition you had to go and message every person that comments or likes. And so you have to be that. So it's almost like you are working your business through them. Like they're the little link and they're the connector, but they don't necessarily know how you do it or how you say or how you word things, right? And so it's important to handhold those first steps. And even if you have people that are self-starters and they know what to do, still handhold them because us self-starters still will take all of the help we'll get, right? We can get, and some of your plunge ahead, go getter people still need some mentorship in terms of maybe the customer care piece, because maybe they're bringing people in so fast, maybe customer care isn't even on their radar. They're just like helping people right and left and trying to live the rest of their life from what they're doing, right? And so they may need you to come alongside and be like, hey, I have a little system for customer care. Let's get these people plugged into this. They probably have some fears in the back of their mind that they need to chat through too. So yeah, Carissa, did I answer that question?
Yes, you did. And I thought I might chime in too, because, you touched on like, well, do I want to be a babysitter? Do I want to be a handholder? Am I a coach? I think that another big one I hear often, or I've even struggled with is like, I'm not everyone's therapist. And I would challenge that one too for everybody, because no, you're not a therapist, but I would challenge you to actually invite learning what people's fears are, because let me tell you, if they are not taking action, or if they are not taking a certain action that you have suggested they take, it's because of something they believe. It is because of something they believe. And so whatever action they're taking or not taking, whatever way they're buffering or avoiding, this is all based on something they believe. And so often we are afraid to find out what's holding them back, because it's gonna be messy, because people are messy and we're in the people business. But shifting our belief, I latched onto this at Gold School from Becky Page when she said people are an eternal investment. Guys, people are an eternal investment. They're worth it. And so even if the person you're helping get to the bottom of a fear that's keeping them stuck, even if they're not your next star diamond, but you've helped them get to the bottom of a fear that's holding them back. You have impacted them for eternity. You've impacted the generations to follow that person. And so getting out of our own, again, it's selfish, it's that obsession with self that's keeping us in conserve energy mode, keeping us out of, ooh, this is messy. I don't want to go there. I'm not a therapist. Well, what if we instead took that thought captive and started practicing, you know what? People are worth it. People are an eternal investment. And I'm okay to get in there with them a little bit. Now, this is where some developing skill set is helpful, because if you get in there in the mud with them and you just roll around in the mud together, you're not really helping them grow. So we do have to, if we want to be leaders, we have to develop leadership skills. Part of being a leader is asking curious questions and helping bring thoughts to the surface they may not even realize they're having that are holding them back. But that doesn't mean you have to agree with those thoughts. It does not mean you have to come into agreement with, oh yeah, that's true. You can help them observe their thoughts as an impartial outside person, and then you can help them ask questions about what that thought's creating for them. And then if they want to powerfully choose a different thought to create a different feeling and create a different outcome. So yeah, we do have to learn some leadership and coaching skills to be able to do that well. Otherwise, we're just, like Megan says, unpacking the suitcase and all the clothes just stay littered all over the floor. That's not the goal. But I think sometimes we fear even finding out what's going on in their internal world, because we fear that it will be messy, or that we won't know how to handle it, or that it'll sap too much of our energy. And I'm not a therapist. So I would just challenge that one and say, that a whole lot of amazing stuff can be accomplished and created when you are willing to get in there in the mud with somebody. But you do have to decide, I'm going to learn how to be that voice at the top of the pit going, hey, there's some freedom up here. Like, let's come on, climb out. I'll help you. Hold my hand. And not just being afraid to open up that can of worms. Does that make sense? So I just want to share that, because I resonated with a few people in the comments that said, yeah, I kind of still feel that way. What do you do? So I just wanted to share a little more on that.
Yeah, so helpful. So good. Okay. Let me turn it to gallery view so I can see all your faces. Okay, who else wants to share something they learned, an epiphany moment, a pivot, something they've learned from a star diamond, or your favorite person so far?
I really liked Brandy here. I really liked, I think it was Sonia. If you did not do the How to Win Friends and Influence People book study, you need to watch her video like 3 or 4 times, because I feel like everything that she said was kind of like a cute Southern twang of wrapping up How to Win Friends and Influence People. But like the things that she was talking about is just like really truly connecting with people, like saying their name a lot and really listening to what they're saying. That way you can come back and be like, hey, I remember that you had mentioned X, Y, and Z. That's something that like I feel like is really powerful to people, is just making them feel heard, making them feel seen. But I felt like as she was talking, I'm like, girl, are you Dale Carnegie's daughter? Like saying this in a Southern accent, because it was basically that whole book wrapped up into a beautiful clip. So go back and watch her video if you did not do the book study. Even if you did do the book study, I love how she talked about connecting with people.
Yeah, so good. I've listened to her on repeat so I could learn how she did it. And like, even, okay, so she gave the example, this was like 9 years ago. I listened to one of her videos and she said that she just talked through how she connects with people at the gas pump. And I was like, that is brilliant. I have never in a million years done that, but I could do that. She was just like connecting with people, and like, you connect, like you say something like, hey, how's your day going? You're pumping gas. And then she's like, I don't know, says a couple things and they say something. And then she's like, hey, well, I've got to leave, but my business is actually expanding in this area. And I'm just going to leave you with my business card in case you ever want to connect. I work for a health and wellness company, and I'm just looking to build more in this area. So would love to connect with you. And I'm like, that is brilliant. Why have I never thought of doing that. Same way, like you go to the post office and you're like mailing samples or just mailing whatever, and you connect with the person there. And you could like totally make so many connections and talk about your business. It's not weird. Like she doesn't make it weird at all. She makes it sound so casual and so natural. And you get your business card into more people's hands. And then she gave the examples like today or yesterday, sorry, how when she shops, she connects with people like with her phone. And like that is so brilliant, guys, that you don't have to have your business cards handy or always have a business conversation. You can just say, like when you're in conversations, you're like, oh my word, I gotta go, but are you on social media? Like, let's connect some more later. Like, I think we could be friends. Don't feel weird about doing that and just ask. And most people are on social media. If they're not, then you just say, well, here, let me give you my number really quick and then we can connect at some point. So don't be afraid of doing that. And I think the thing is with the people skills, well, one, all of us can get better and grow in that, but it's like exercising a muscle, like we're exercising those connection muscles. And some of us, it may come a little more naturally for it, and some of us might have to exercise more to get better at that. But that's the cool thing is like we can all learn to be better at it and we can teach our kids. And this is something that I thought about when Carissa was talking, is that growth in business, like when we are coaching somebody through some like a mental block or a thought that they're thinking that isn't actually factual or whatever it is that we're helping them with, any sort of growth in business, personal growth, has an impact in your marriage, in your parenting, in your communication skills, in your relationships in general. And so isn't it cool that this is like the little catalyst, like the workout room for us getting better and growing as people? I think that's so cool. Okay, who else wants to share? Something you learned, pivot you're making, action you're taking.
I think it's hard to choose a favorite. Um, my first favorite was Brenda because she was talking about like the reels and the social media, and that's an area that I'm like, I need to, I feel like I need to up level and figure it out better. So I really liked her training on the reels. And if you look at her page, like she's very just, it doesn't look like Plexus threw up on her page. So I'm like, I probably could maybe have more balance there, but she weaves it in such a natural way because she's just talking about her life as a mom and how she feels better, but she's not like saying, products or whatever. So I've really enjoyed just watching her page and then learning from her training. And then there was Suzanne. It was really interesting. She was talking about recruiting and planting seeds and just like relationships, which I really like. I feel like that's where I do best is when I have a relationship first. Um, I wish I could just be like the cold messenger, but it doesn't work for me. I just tend to get people that like I have to know them for a year first or something. So I liked a lot of her tips there, and I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out how to get in more relationships like quicker so that by the time they like foster, like I have just a lot of them like are like little growing in the little greenhouse or something. Um, but she actually sparked stuff in my mind when she was talking that wasn't even in her training, I don't think. But it just, I had the idea or the thought just listening to her. I went and listened to some of her other trainings on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I really need to just start practicing doing little trainings myself. Like I need to just start practicing that because like I don't have a huge team. So I'm not doing that. But I'm like, well, if I don't practice, then when I come time to do it, I'm gonna trip over my tongue. I might throw up. It'll be an experience. So I should start practicing that. So that's one area where I'm challenging myself, even in my little page that I have and nobody pays attention, just once a week to get in there and talk about something. So I think this past week, what I did was I did a little live video and I talked about, did you know you don't have to work the business to share your referral link? because I have a lot of people that aren't interested in the business. And so I was like, well, maybe that would be good. Brooks training spoke to me. Like, I feel like there's so many. And then Sonia Dudley, I want to go listen to more of her stuff. It was, it's just been really inspiring. And then today, Fallon's, I think, was real encouraging, especially the bit where she was like, you know, I was second gold for 2 years. And then, you know, I went, what was it, like diamond in 9 months or something. I'm like, oh, maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. Maybe I'll figure it out and I'll just poof over the next few months. Who knows?
Yes, love it. Love it, love it. So guys, as you're having ideas when you're listening to the people that are training, go take action on those. That is what has made me good, or maybe I should say excellent, because I don't sit on ideas. I put them into action as quick as I can. And so I love what Stephanie said, because she had the idea and then she started acting on that. And so I think all of us on this call, all 26 of us, can go take what she's doing and duplicate it. Okay, you don't have to be the most creative or even the sharpest knife in the drawer to work this business. You can duplicate what other people are doing. Hallelujah, thank the Lord that there's creative people and people that spend a lot of time and brain space thinking through things, because I don't feel like I have a lot of bandwidth for that. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I'm simply taking someone else's idea and implementing quickly. And so I'm going to make a challenge for all of us on this call. Before we meet back next Tuesday, I want everyone to make a short little training video. It can be something like 3 minutes or less that you pop in your little chat thread with your customers. It could be if you have a little customer page or a group or a private event that you've done, go live in there. And I love that topic, Stephanie. Did you know you don't have to work the business to share your referral link? Like, that's a perfect topic. Great clickbait, and will resonate and speak to those people. And that goes along with the buddy system thing that I was talking about earlier. That is brilliant. I love that. Okay. Well, guys, I promised everyone that we would do a short 30-minute call. So I feel like we're just getting started. But I'm gonna close this out and just say, hey, you know what? If you have the kids in bed or hubby is taking care of them for a little while longer, if you're in the stage of young children, I'm going to challenge you to stay on for the whatever 20 more minutes that you have maybe allotted for this call and work your business. Guys, there is time left in the month to make some things happen, and I cannot wait to see all the momentum. Really, guys, the momentum really starts, I feel like, in March, the 20th and after, the last 10 days of the month. And you may have had a really, really big first 20 days of the month so far, and you may be like, I've already got my 6, or oh, I've already double earned the watch, or whatever, or I've done all the challenges that my sponsor's given me. So I'm just gonna kind of coast. I'm like excited. My encouragement is actually March has historically been my highest month, like personal recruitment month, year after year after year. And so the time is ripe. Don't quit before the end of the month. Yes, front load because Easter weekend is coming, but also double down. Jessica Heffley gave the challenge, post every other day with that income graphic. Go live in your stories every day and talk the heck out of the Apple Watch, talk the crazy out of the free resets, like talk. You are not boring your audience. I mean, mix it up and talk about other things too, but you want to be piquing the interest of the people in your circle that are Googling ways to make money from home. Okay. And so that is all I have for you guys. I will pray us out and we'll be done. Okay. Yes, a lot of people get home from spring break and want to get back on track. So keep that in mind too as you're chatting with your customers as well. Okay, I'll pray us out and then we'll be on our way. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just do want to thank you for the opportunity to meet together tonight for just a quick team blitz to basically do a huddle and then blitz and go impact our circles and to just help a lot of people this month. I just thank you for this opportunity that we have to help people with their health and wellness and help people with their finances and introduce them to more freedom. And we just thank you for the gift of community. We thank you for the opportunity that we have to make an impact. Thank you for the opportunities for growth, even when they're sometimes uncomfortable. And so I just pray that you would help us to exercise our 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 muscles well as we learn to connect with people, as we're just learning all the time. And so I just thank you for that. We can just steward this opportunity with excellence. I thank you that you've promised to be our helper in all of this, that we're not alone. I also thank you for that scripture that talks about oh, actually, I'll just read it out loud. Psalm 67 and Psalm 90, where it says, "May God be gracious to us and bless us, so that your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all the nations. May all the peoples praise you, O God. O Lord our God, let your favor rest upon us. Come work with us, and then our works will endure. You will give us success in all we do." And so we just pray you bless the work of our hands, that you magnify the hours in our day, that you just give us grace, grace upon grace, which is undeserved favor. And so we just pray that over our businesses, over ourselves, over our families, and just thank you. We just want to say thank you and work heartily as unto you. So we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, the reference on the scripture was Psalm 67 and Psalm 90. So yeah, print that out and pray it, read it. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.